This is his podcast, In the Wry. It's the In the Wry Podcast. Curt Fletcher.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. It's the In the Wry Podcast, episode number 72. First one of 2024. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope it's a good one so far. It's good so far for me. 2023 was alright. I haven't done a podcast in a couple months. Quick updates. Didn't do too many shows since my last podcast. I did do a Don't Tell comedy show, which was kind of fun. I was kind of added on at the last minute to that one. Forget the name of the venue. It was already sold out when I was added to the show, so it was in the basement of a barber shop, but that ended up being a really cool show. And then the last show I did last year was at it's like a poetry / comedy open mic. I got to headline that one, and it was all right. A lot better than I expected it was going to be. And I also got to officiate my cousin Devin's wedding up in Iowa in December. That was a lot of fun. I had never officiated a wedding before. That was my first time, and it went pretty well, I thought anyway. They had like really short vows, so it didn't take up very much time anyway. So that was a lot of fun. Did it at a really cool venue in Fort Dodge, Iowa, and I don't know, it was just a beautiful wedding, and reception was fun. Got to see a lot of old friends and some family and stuff like that. So that was a lot of fun. So yeah, let's start this thing. The podcast is going to be about comedy specials. So my plan this year is to perform a comedy special, record a comedy special. Hopefully at the same venue that my cousin was married at. That's my goal. It's like this really cool old school ballroom. And Buddy Holly did one of his last shows there. It was like his second to last show was there. And some people bought it last year and remodeled it and stuff. And it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So yeah, that's my goal, is to record a comedy special this year. I am doing a lot of shows. I got a lot of shows booked right now. Run down my tour dates real quick. If you know anyone in those areas or whatever, send them to a show. If you're in the area, go to a show. Here we go. January 5th and 6th, I'll be at the Funny Bone in Omaha, Nebraska, with my buddy Tim Gaither. That is this weekend. So if you watch it after this weekend, then don't go to the show. I won't be there. January 14th, I'll be at the Launch Pad in Albuquerque for One-Liner Madness, which is a really fun show. It's 64 comedians battle it out in a one-liner contest. January 19th and 20th, I will be at Quesada's Comedy Club. Stephen Michael Quesada is a buddy of mine. He opened a comedy club. You'll recognize him from Breaking Bad. He was Agent Gomez. He's got a new comedy club here in Albuquerque, just outside Albuquerque, at the Santa Ana Casino, and I'll be working with Chris Kattan, which is awesome. You'll recognize him from SNL or Night at the Roxbury, or a movie that me and my sister quote a lot, Corky Romano. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. February 3rd, I'm headlining at the Unhinged Brewery in Albuquerque. February 9th and 10th, I'll be at Looney's in Colorado Springs, once again with my buddy Tim Gaither. The Saturday night show, we're actually filming for Open Bar Comedy, which is my buddy Ron Feingold runs that. It's his version of Dry Bar Comedy. So we're filming specials for that. I think Gretchen Hess is also filming that night. Then I'll be in Denver the following week. I got February 14th and 15th. I'll be in Boulder at the Hotel Boulderado. February 16 and 17 at the Denver Comedy Lounge. doing 5 shows. February 23rd, 24th, I'll be at Laughs in Tucson. Laughs Comedy Club with Tim Gaither again. It's one of my favorite clubs. Looney's is as well. That's going to be fun. March 14th, I'll be at Inn of the Mountain Gods, headlining that. That's Mescalero, New Mexico. March 16th, I'll be at Turtle Mountain in Rio Rancho, which is right down the street from me. I'll be hosting that show. My buddy Eddie Stevens will be headlining that. April 26th and 27th, I will be at the Funny Bone in Des Moines, Iowa. Hope to see a lot of family and friends at that one. I'll be with my buddy Tim at that one again. And then October 21st through 26th, I will be in Canada. At Calgary, Alberta, Canada, at the Comedy Cave. Never been to Canada. I'm in the process of getting my passport right now, so calm down. I'll have it, don't worry. But yeah, that's exciting. And go to my website, funnyfletcher.com, click on my schedule. All the tickets should be on there for all those shows. If they're not, you can call the club, or you can just wait until they're on there. Do whatever you want. I don't know what you guys do. Wait till the last minute, whatever. But yeah, those are going to be a lot of fun. I'm also trying to line up that taping in Iowa. And once I do that, I'm going to line up some other shows in Iowa, including my hometown, Clarion, and then hopefully some other towns. And I'll definitely post those a lot. So yeah, let's get into my favorite comedy specials from last year. I actually want to cut a few off the list. I'm trying to narrow it down to my top 20. And I'm not going to do them in order, but I'll do my top 5 in order. But it was hard. I watched a lot of specials this year. There's a lot of good ones. Trying to think of who I should... Okay, I've got about 26 here right now. So let's see if I can knock a few off this list. I'll knock that one off. But I'd like to hear from you guys and hear like what your favorite specials were on the year. Maybe I missed a few. I don't know. Man, it's hard to take off the list. Marlon Wayans. That was a good one. You know what? I'll do top 25. I'm not going to do top 20. That's too hard. Okay, so these are the... These would be 6 through 20 in no order. These are alphabetical, actually. Ben Roy, Hyena, which is on YouTube. If you haven't seen Ben Roy, definitely go check him out. I got to work with him a couple of times before. He's a Denver guy, real high energy. Chris Rock, Selective Outrage, which was his live special on Netflix. I thought that was a cool special. I thought it was cool the way he did that. That was real good. Greg Warren, The Salesman, which I believe is on YouTube. I've worked with Greg before. Super nice guy. Great special. If you haven't seen him, check that one out. This next one was a really fun one. It was Jackie Cation. It's called Looking Back. And she recorded it on the camera of a car. Like, you know, when you're backing up and you have the car camera on there. She recorded it into that. I thought that was really cool, and it's like I don't know, it's a cool little special. It's not like super long. I think it was like 11 minutes or something like that, but super funny. I'm actually going to share a Jackie Cation story with you guys. So I used to work at Laughs Comedy Club in Albuquerque years ago when it was open. And there's a comedian named James R. Zingelman. He calls me one day. James is a super funny comic and hypnotist, comedy hypnotist. And he calls me one day and he goes, I'm reading this book. It's called How Not to Suck as an MC. And he's like, I'm going to read you this. And you tell me if this sounds familiar. So I'll read it to you guys. I once worked a club where the MC is also the fry cook and does telemarketing for the club during the day. The club in a strip mall, a half-mile from the condo in quotation, apartment the club has rented and keeps comics in like dogs, and not good love dogs, that you have to walk to and from each night, is run by people that treat comics like criminals as soon as they get to town. And they justify this because they keep booking criminals. So when they accidentally don't book a criminal, it's just in their nature to treat you like a criminal. My professionalism was the only thing showing. This place has the class of a toilet. But the MC is actually funny. That was me. He's a funny guy that has to do his set, then run back into the kitchen and make mozzarella sticks and pork toast or some damn thing. Run back out to bring the feature off, bring the headliner on, then run back and finish his kitchen shift. One night, he loses track of time. The feature, we'll call him Frank, goes a couple minutes early and is walking off stage and no MC. He went way short that night, by the way. There's no one working the room or anything. I yell across the room into this professional moment of show business. Hey, Frank, the kid's not around. Bring me up. So Frank brings me up. The show is fine. The MC comes up to me after my set, wiping his hands on a towel, and said, I think Frank got off early. I was on my way. I asked him for a ride back to the condo. So that was in the book, How Not to Suck as an MC, written by Jackie Cation. That section was, that part. So yeah, that's how I had to do it back in the day when I was working in the kitchen at Laughs. I would start out in the kitchen, start making some stuff, then I'd go do my 15-minute set, go back to a backed-up kitchen, work my ass off for about 25 minutes, and then I'd usually close the kitchen halfway through the headliner set, usually. So that's a fun story. I got to work with Jackie a couple years ago in Glendale at Stir Crazy Comedy Club, and it's funny because she actually told that story on her podcast with Lori Kilmartin, and someone actually messaged me about it and was like, hey, do you know who she's talking about? And I was like, yeah, that's me. So I told Jackie when I saw her again, because I hadn't seen her since, this happened probably in 2005, maybe 2006, probably 2005 though. So yeah, that's fun. But yeah, check out her special, Looking Back, is really funny. She's a great comic. Back to the list, Joe Bartnick, A Killing in Chicago. He's another guy that I got to work with back at Laughs years ago. Actually had to fill in for him one time. He was featuring and he lost his voice, couldn't talk. And I was there, so I went on for him. Kelsey Cook, The Hustler. If you haven't seen her, she's fantastic. I saw her live in Albuquerque one time opening for Jim Norton. Super funny. She's got a new podcast with Chad Daniels. It's great. Kyle Kinane, Shocks and Struts. Kyle is awesome. It's always solid. I got to work with him once in Albuquerque. Mark Maron from Bleak to Dark was a really good one. Mark actually grew up here in Albuquerque, which was pretty cool. I got to see him. Saw him one time here, and his dad was at the show. I thought that was pretty cool. He told a lot of cool stories from living here and stuff like that. Next one is Mark Normand, Soup to Nuts. He's probably one of my favorite comics right now. He's a really good writer. I like his writing style a lot. I've actually had a few people tell me that I remind them of Mark Normand, but I started before I even knew who he was, so I'm not stealing his style, so fuck off. Marlon Wayans, God Loves Me, was really good. I think that was on HBO Max. If you haven't checked that one out, please do. This one I just watched, Mike Baldwin, #1 top-selling best comedy special ever. It's probably one of the best names for a comedy special. If you don't know Mike, he's great. He's a comic from Kansas City. He does a podcast with my buddy Tim Gaither called the Truthican Podcast. Check that out if you haven't seen it or listened to it. He's also got one of the funniest shirts. Comedians sell T-shirts after their show to make money, and he's got one of the best ones. It's just it's got a picture. I think it's just like one ninja. There's a bunch of leaves, and it just says "Ninjas hate crunchy leaves." It's super funny. This next one, I thought this was a really cool special. Mike Birbiglia, The Old Man and the Pool. Kind of felt like a one-man show instead of like an actual stand-up special to me, but it was really cool. I like the stage was really neat on there. Kind of looked like a pool. Like, I don't know. Check it out. It's on Netflix. Next one is Mike Vecchione. I worked with the guy and I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think it's Vecchione. Could be Vecchione. I don't know. Either way, he's funny. His special is called The Attractives. I believe that's on YouTube. Go check that one out. This next one's definitely on YouTube. Nathan Lund, Soup's On. He's another Denver guy that I like a lot. Known him for years. He filmed this one in Chicago. It's a shorter special, like 35 minutes or so. Super funny. I like Nathan a lot. Next one is Neil Rubenstein, or Stein. I've had him on the podcast. His special is called Have Some Dignity. Man, I feel like Neil is a super underrated comic, and I hope he blows up soon because he's really good. He's constantly on the road, like working his ass off, and just a good dude. So if you haven't seen that, check it out. Have Some Dignity. It's on YouTube. Next one's Ricky Gervais, Armageddon. I just watched that one the other day. It just came out on Christmas Day, I believe, on Netflix. I always a fan of his stuff. Next one is Sarah Silverman, Someone You Love, which is on HBO Max, I think. I feel like that one came out a while ago, so I don't remember it too well, but it's on my list. I was on a flight with Sarah Silverman one time, and I was too scared to say hi. So, yay. I'm a dipshit. Next one, Shane Gillis, Beautiful Dogs. That was really good. That one almost made my top 5. It was really close. That one's on Netflix. If you haven't seen that, really good. Next one is another one of my favorite comics, Todd Barry, Domestic Short Hair. I believe that one's on YouTube. I love Todd Barry. I think he's hilarious. Every one of his albums is great. I don't know. He just cracks me up. Check that one out. And then this one I just watched the other day too. Tom Clark, Live from North Hollywood. I've worked with Tom before. Tom and his wife Steph, great people, very funny. Tom's also a Milwaukee Brewers fan, which is great. I actually went to a Brewers spring training game with him and his wife against the Cubs when we were working in Arizona together a few years ago. But yeah, his special Live from North Hollywood is on YouTube. Super funny. I feel bad because there's so many other specials that I watched that were really good this year that didn't make the list. And I don't have all of those in front of me. So those were, I guess, 6 through 25. Yeah. You want to know my most hated special? That I actually watched the entire thing was, I don't even remember what it was called, but it was Andrew Santino's special. For some reason, I just don't like that dude. I don't know why. He's probably a nice guy. I don't know. I just don't find him funny at all. And watched him on podcasts a couple times. He just kind of seems like an asshole. I also wasn't a big fan of Pete Holmes' special. I really liked his show Crashing. And I I liked his last special, but this one was just I don't even think I finished the whole thing. Which I don't know. I like Pete, so I was kind of bummed about that special. Maybe I should have watched the whole thing before judging it. All right, here's my top 5. You guys ready for my top 5? I want to hear your top 5. All right, here we go. Number 5. This is on Netflix. Beth Stelling. If You Didn't Want Me Then. Beth is awesome. She's one of my favorite comics. Super, super funny. I'd love to see her in person, like see her perform live. I think that'd be cool. I think she performed here last year, but I was out of town or something like that. I had to miss, maybe Santa Fe. She did the Cloud Top Comedy Festival. Maybe it was 2 years ago. I don't know. Anyway, check her out. Really funny. Number 4 is an old pal of mine, Sam Talent. His special is called The Toad's Morale. And that one just came out a day after Christmas. That one's on YouTube. Man, it's cool to see Sam having so much success. I was kind of there when he was pretty new to the scene when I lived in Denver the first time, like back in 2009. And just watching him, you can tell he was going to be something special. And he deserves all the success he's getting. It's awesome. He was actually the reason I watched Kill Tony the other day. I don't really like that show. Number 3, another Netflix one, Ralph Barbosa Cowabunga. Ralph's another dude I've actually worked with before. Just a few years ago, he just did a short set when I was performing in Texas at, it's like a brewery. I want to say the town was called like Justin, Texas. It was a smaller town, like north of Dallas or north of Fort Worth or something. But he was on the show as me and him and Jason Russell and Tyson Pfeiffer. That was the lineup. And it was an awesome show. And I feel like Ralph was pretty new at the time, and he was still funny, but he wasn't like as polished as he is now. And his special's great. The writing is fantastic. He's blowing up. It's awesome. Number 2 is Gary Gulman, Born on Third Base. That one is on HBO Max. That one just came out the other day too, and I almost missed it. And then I was just flipping through HBO Max and saw that it was on there. Yeah, holy shit. I love that dude's writing. He's great. That state abbreviations joke is still one of my favorite jokes of all time. That wasn't on this special, but if you haven't seen that, go look it up and also watch this special. And the number 1, what do you think it is? Nope. Maybe you got it right. I don't know. My number 1 special this year is Chad Daniels' Mixed Reviews, which is on YouTube. Chad's probably one of my top 5 comics, maybe top 3, maybe top 2, maybe top 1. I don't know. The dude just fucking writes like crazy. So he filmed 2 specials in the same night. This was one of them. Just came out in December. And then he's already recording a new special in a few months. In a couple months. March 2nd. On his birthday. Always remember his birthday for some reason. Even though I haven't seen him in 15, 14, 16, 17 years. I don't know how many years. It's been a long time. But yeah, Chad Daniels Mixed Reviews. Check it out. Awesome. Oh my god. My mouth's getting all dry and scratchy. Anyways, that's my list for the year. My favorites. But I would like to hear your favorites if you want to tell me. Or maybe I missed one. Tell me one that's kind of under the radar or something. I'd like to watch it. Yeah, that's all I got planned for this episode. It's episode 72. Definitely planning on doing a lot of these this year. I know I always say that, but I'm going to do it. Damn it. And I'll have more guests and stuff like that. I got a lot of guests lined up. So yeah, there's not much else. I just want to thank Jarrett Riddick from Bowling for Soup for intro music. And John Singleton from Anesthesia for the outro music. And go to funnyfletcher.com, check out the shows. All the tickets are on there. You can sign up for my newsletter on there. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm only like 850 subscribers away from 1,000, so that's pretty big. That's a big number. So just need 850 people. There's definitely not 850 people watching this. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Omaha Funny Bone this weekend with Tim Gaither. Hope to see you there if you're in the area. And we'll catch you next week. Bye, everybody.